everyone, welcome to Bumbee TV. Today I'm going to be playing Clue. This is another game from my childhood. Clue, obviously the classic board game. I never really played the actual board game that much. I had a CD back in the 90s, of course. I got the CD from a cereal box, if I'm not mistaken. Oh gosh, it's a scary intro, so let's see. Let's check it out. That's the house. Okay. Perfect for Halloween. Halloween season. Oh, is this good? Is this the murder? Well, it is what happens in the game. Why am I surprised? Let's start a game locally. These are the characters. We have Miss Scarlet, Colonel Mustard, Mrs. White, Mr. Green, Mrs. Peacock, and Professor Plum. Today I'll be starting with Miss Scarlet. This is who I always used to play as, and she will be a human today. Miss B. We have to add computers. We're gonna go on expert mode and see if I'm able to beat the computers. I don't know if that's a good idea. They're all gonna be experts. Because you know what? I feel like I've played this game enough to the point where it makes me an expert. So this should even out the playing field, right? We'll see. Classic. Ooh. The classic Vine loading screen. This loading screen is everything, guys. Watch it. Watch it. It's so good. Why is that so good? I don't know. I'm just being nostalgic. Okay. Oh, these are the cards. These are... That's like the whodunnit, the murder weapon, and which room. And now the rest is being dispersed. Okay. We're entering the house.
Miss Scarlet, it is your turn. Please roll the die.
Here we are. Let's roll the dice. 1, 2. Oh, what? He got a 6. Miss White, Mrs. White, Mr. Green, it is your turn. Mrs. Peacock, her walk is interesting. Professor Plum.
Miss Scarlet, it is your turn.
It's our turn. Oh, we're not getting very far, guys, are we? I want to get into this room. What is it, the ballroom? No, this is the ballroom. What is this? The study? What's he doing? He's accusing me?
Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion. Mr. Green
Somebody
cannot
disprove it.
the suggestion.
It's not me.
Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum can disprove the suggestion.
So he can disprove, which means he either has my card or the knife or that room, which I think is the study, but I'm not sure. Colonel Mustard with the pipe in the...
Miss Scarlet can disprove the suggestion.
I didn't even see what my cards are. The study. Oh my goodness, guys, look. Okay, these are my cards. So it didn't happen in the study. It didn't happen in the lounge. And it wasn't Mr. Green.
Miss Scarlet, it is your turn. Please roll the die, use the secret passage, or make a suggestion.
Wait. Okay, so because Colonel Mustard suggested that it was me in this room, whatever room this is. What room is this? Can I see them? We have a map, guys. We have a map. I'm in the lounge. Okay. So because Colonel Mustard suggested that it was me in the lounge with the knife, it put me in the lounge. So now I get to make a suggestion before I roll. Let's make our first suggestion. What do we think? What do we think? Who was it? Bing. I'm gonna say it was Mrs. White with a candlestick in the lounge, except I have a lounge card. I'm gonna suggest it anyway because it's a freebie, like maybe somebody has a candlestick card, maybe somebody has a Miss White card. So I'm gonna suggest it anyway. There she goes. Damn, that's scary.
Colonel Mustard can disprove the suggestion.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. He's gonna suggest Professor Plum.
Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion. Mr. Green cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock
Somebody
cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum can disprove the suggestion.
He can disprove. He can disprove. She's saying Mr. Green.
Mr. Green can disprove the suggestion.
He's gonna say that's dark. That is dark. That's like a dark
Mrs.
animation.
Peacock
Probably one of the darkest in
the
this
suggestion.
game. I guess that's pretty dark too. But you don't see his face after, like, you know, not like the peacock.
Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion. Miss Scarlet can disprove the suggestion.
'Twas not the lounge. Who suggested this?
Miss Scarlet can disprove the suggestion.
'Twas not the lounge.
Miss Scarlet, it is your turn. Please roll the die or use the secret passage.
So yes, there were secret passages. I think you were also able to walk around the room. Yep.
Please roll the die or use the secret passage.
I'm gonna use it. The conservatory. We're in the conservatory. Look, they have a monkey. What? Wow. I actually always wanted a room like this. Like, not necessarily with a monkey in it, but with like a lot of plants, a lot of windows, maybe some water. It's just goals. All right, let's make a suggestion. I'm gonna keep on going with the Miss White theme with the pipe. Suggest. That's dark.
Colonel Mustard can disprove the suggestion.
Quick and easy. Okay, so it wasn't Miss White. All right, all right. Oh, I don't know why I thought it was Miss White. It's pretty dark how the cutscenes are like from the victim's point of view. It's pretty dark. Actually perfect for Halloween. Perfect and spooky and scary. He's like, ole. Stab.
Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion. Mr. Green cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion. Miss Scarlet can disprove the suggestion.
It's not the lounge. Mr. Green with the wrench.
Mr. Green cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum can disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion. Miss Scarlet cannot disprove the suggestion. Colonel Mustard can disprove. Professor Plum can disprove the suggestion.
Colonel, how dare you?
Miss Scarlet cannot disprove the suggestion. Colonel Mustard cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. White can disprove the suggestion.
So we're gonna roll. Ooh, 5. Go, 1. Let's go into the ballroom. Oh yes, and then we can make a suggestion. Perfect. Love that walk. She's gotta get on that Barbie catwalk. Let's make our suggestion. Mrs. Peacock with the wrench in the ballroom. Honestly, I feel like Mrs. Peacock is probably one of the more terrifying.
Colonel Mustard cannot disprove the suggestion.
Murderers.
Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion.
Of the
Mr. Green
potential
can
murderers.
disprove the
Mr.
suggestion.
Green can disprove it was not the ballroom.
Mrs. White can disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock can disprove the suggestion.
Straight away. Straight away. That's right. I always wondered what that is. Is it the pipe? Like,
Professor
what is
Plum
that?
cannot
Is it the
disprove
wrench?
the suggestion. Miss Scarlet cannot disprove
It's
the
not the
suggestion.
wrench,
Colonel
is it?
Mustard can disprove the suggestion.
Always wondered what it is she's whirling around over her head. 2. Let's go toward the kitchen. Yes. This is an easier way to kind of look at things.
Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion. Mr. Green cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum can disprove the suggestion.
Mr. Green with a knife. 'Twas not the ballroom.
Mr. Green can disprove the suggestion. Mrs.
A lot of
Peacock
plums with
cannot
knife.
disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion. Colonel Mustard cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion.
Wait, what? Nobody disproved it? Oh, okay. My guess is that he has the ballroom card and he just made a suggestion because he could. Okay, so I lost, you guys.
Professor Plum cannot
I
disprove
totally
the suggestion.
lost. Everyone's
Miss
guessing
Scarlet
that
cannot
it's
disprove
Professor
the
Plum with the
suggestion.
knife.
Colonel Mustard
And I'm like,
can
oh,
disprove
a lot of
the
people are
suggestion.
guessing Professor Plum with a knife. Well, no, duh. Maybe that's because he's the actual. Maybe that's because that's what happened, and I'm out here guessing other people because I'm the expert.
Miss Scarlet cannot disprove the suggestion.
How do they know?
Colonel Mustard can disprove
Okay,
the suggestion.
maybe
Miss Scarlet,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
it is your turn. Please roll the die.
But since everyone is guessing Plum with a knife, I'm gonna follow suit. Oh, I didn't make it. Almost. Everyone thinks it's Plum.
Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion. Miss Scarlet cannot disprove the suggestion. Colonel Mustard cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. White can disprove the suggestion. Miss Scarlet can disprove the suggestion.
'Twas not Mr. Green.
Miss Scarlet, it is your turn. Please roll the die.
Alright, we're in the kitchen. Let's make a suggestion. Let's see. Plum with a knife. Let's find out for ourselves if it is Plum with a knife. Suggest.
Colonel Mustard cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. White cannot disprove the suggestion. Mr. Green cannot disprove the suggestion. Mrs. Peacock cannot disprove the suggestion. Professor Plum cannot disprove the suggestion.
Did I win? Did I just win? Did I just win? I don't know if you saw, but I clicked on the handcuffs. I'm going to accuse now rather than suggest. So, Plum with the knife in the kitchen. Accuse.
Miss Scarlet has accused correctly.
I win! What? Continue. Oh, Professor Plum is in jail. That was so much fun. If you ever have a chance to play it, I highly suggest that you play it, whether it is a digital version or a board game version. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!